going?
It's going well, man. I'm doing well. Is you in your office now that I hear so much about on your show?
Oh yeah, I am.
Nice. Yeah, I can see all the horror memorabilia in the background.
Is it Halloween 24/7? Looks Halloween 24/7.
That is awesome.
Halloween and superheroes.
That's yeah.
That's great. Does Ron make you hide all that stuff in there?
Well, I'm not allowed to go. Yeah, it doesn't get to go anywhere else in the house except for Halloween. We take them because I have like 5, 6, 7 foot tall, figures, mechanical ones that do stuff. So then we bring those out in the house. But other than that, they stay in my office, and the space that I can walk around just gets smaller and smaller, as I add new things to it. Like I added a bunch of new things over here for my birthday. Let's see.
That's awesome.
There's Chucky, and there's a big trick or treat Sam.
That's cool.
Oh man.
About half the stuff in here is autographed.
That's cool.
To me also, that was given to me by the different people in the film, so it's kind of fun. Yeah, we have a good time. I really like my stuff.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I hear you. I have a lot of stuff too. Not anything awesome like that, like the bigger stuff, but
I got Evil Owen too for my birthday.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All nerds are is just little kids, like still kids. I love my toys.
I have like my whole, my retirement is in action figures though, like literally, because I have a lot of stuff. But there's one case. Actually, this case here, the wooden one, like where you can see that pink pig there in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see Saw 3?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So the whole thing revolves around the dad is so upset because his son dies, and the only thing he's got left to remember is the pink pig, and that's the pink pig. That's the cool. Pink pig from the film.
Oh, that's cool.
That is awesome.
I have a bunch of props like that from the film. I love the Saw movie.
Everybody, welcome our guest, Jimmy Star, from the Jimmy Star with Ron Russell show, which I watch every Wednesday. It's fantastic. You and Ron have such different interview styles, but somehow they come together and it works very, very well.
Yeah, he's kind of like the fun one, and I'm kind of the like businessy one who knows all the tech, businessy kinds of like things. And then we're from different generations, because he's a little older than I am.
We're like Riggs and Murtaugh. One is the loose cannon, and the other one is business.
Yeah, so he's definitely the loose cannon, without a doubt. But it makes it fun, and people seem to like it.
Yeah.
We just broke 1 billion downloads not too long ago. So
that's awesome. Congrats.
It's you gotta have fun. It's a lot of fun, and I love the name of you guys' podcast.
The 3 Geeks.
Thank you.
But there's only 2 of you, though.
I know.
You're the third.
Yeah,
that's how we do the
whoever the third person is, the guest becomes the third geek. Okay, now
it was never like that. There was no grand plan. It just seemed to work out that way.
No, it's nice though. You have a nice logo. Everything's cool about the whole thing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
When did you start with this business?
Which business?
The show business, because that's kind of like branches off into all the other things you do.
I've been in show business since I was like in high school. Like I was in like different TV shows and stuff when I was super young as an extra, like in high school. And then I really got into it as a clothing designer. For many years, I was a clothing designer, and I dressed and did costume design for a bunch of films. And then I've just been in a bunch of films, but I really can't act. I suck. I'm terrible. People just put me in them because I have a huge social media following, and I have my show, and they know if I'm in it, I'll talk about it, which will bring attention to it. So Ron's the actor. I actually produce. I'm a very good producer. I produce movies, but Ron's the actual like actor, and I'm just in them because I think it's fun. And most of the time, if I have a speaking role, I'm in it for I get like 3 lines or something like.
Sure.
Like we went to the premiere of Clown Motel 2 not too long ago, and I'm in it literally like 30 seconds, just long enough to get like my neck sliced and bleed to death.
As a horror fan, is that fun? Like having a death scene? I imagine that's pretty fun for a
horror
fan.
I had a couple. So yeah, it's fun. I did a movie a long time ago called The Incubus, where my title character was Dead Man Running, and I'm getting chased by the Incubus, and I trip and fall down, and then she eventually catches me and sucks out all the life out of me, and I die. And it was a lot of fun. It was really, really, really a lot of fun.
Nice. You also are a publicist. What got you into that side of the business?
That was a total fluke. So I'm a publicist. My company is called World Star PR, and I have it with Eileen Shapiro. And basically, Eileen was a guest on our show, and that's how we met her. She had written a book, and we became friends. And we decided to go on a ghost hunt in New York at an old insane asylum. And so we had a medium and a pop star, and Ron and I and Eileen. And we snuck into the place and crawled through the window on the second floor and did all kinds of cool shit all day long. And it was hilarious. And, I mean, like really like, funny stuff, like there would be like a hole in the wall and Ron would make like glory hole comments. And I mean, just like really funny stuff. And we put it up on YouTube and it got like almost 300,000 plays.
Wow.
And so we had all met through the same publicist. All of us there was one publicist and so Eileen asked me, do publicists contact you like a lot for help? And I was like, all the time. And she said, me too. And she was writing for Huffington Post and all these publications. And she was like, do you ever make any money? And I was like, no. And ended up that the publicist had charged all these people to come on my show and for Eileen to interview them. And she was like, you ever think about like being a publicist? And I said, it would be easy. I bet it wouldn't be hard. We didn't know what we were doing. And she said, why don't we start a publicity firm? And I said, okay. And the next day we came up with World Star PR, and within a week we had like 10 clients. And 6 months later, we got named Best Entertainment Publicist in the United States.
Hey, how about
So
that?
we just kind of like took off, really. And it's all by word of mouth. We don't even have a website for it. Basically, we don't even have a website for World Star PR. It's all word of mouth. And based on Eileen and I's, presence like in the world and what we do. And I mean, you can Google us and a lot comes up, and you can Google me. I know your Google search results change all the time, but I have like, usually about 500 million Google search results. So like I come up and I look kind of okay. I mean, I look kind of impressive. So it seems to help. And so it just kind of took off, and we have a blast with it. It's so much fun. Yeah, that's how we meet people like you guys. First of all, we would have never met you guys if we weren't publicists.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
You came to us when we were in between working with publicists at the moment back at the beginning of the year, and it's been awesome. I think we've interviewed every one of your clients so far.
Oh, we have some great clients, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure.
It's like, what is on the wall behind you, Jay? Is that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle back there?
Yeah, it's 4 Ninja Turtle prints. Some they took above it. There's like some World War II drawing styles with Star Wars characters mixed in. I think those look really cool. And then there's some other cool stuff.
And who's the bearded guy? Who's the bearded guy?
That is over there?
Yeah.
That's Thor.
It's Fat Thor.
Fat. It's Fat Thor, though. Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say it didn't look like Thor because he's fat. Okay. Because did you see over here? Hold on. I have my 4-foot tall Ninja Turtle.
You sure do.
That is awesome. We interviewed Renee Jacobs earlier this year from the Ninja Turtles cartoon. She was awesome.
That's fun. I love all that kind of stuff. I love your Batman. It's a cookie jar, right?
Yes.
Batman cookie jar. I'm all about it. I love Batman. So like, good for you. I love it. And you like Star Wars? I love Star Wars too.
I do. I'm more of a Star Trek guy, but I like them both. I like all of them. It's hard to say that Star Trek to hate Star Trek and Star Wars when they both had movies made by the same person with J.J. Abrams. So
yeah. Oh, I like them both. I love Patrick Stewart actually, and I'm old school. So like the old Star Trek is what I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Kirk. That was like what I actually grew up watching. So I loved it. And Eileen too. She wrote the Star Trek Medical Journal.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
The New York Times bestseller. It went to #1 on New York Times, and she's actually the writer for it.
What's funny is me and Justin, we went to Jersey earlier this year, and we were at the grand reopening of Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, and there was a woman there, and I recognized her, but I couldn't place where I'd seen her.
It was Eileen. She was there.
It was Eileen. I found out after the fact that it was Eileen, so like I messaged her later. I'm like, "Were you at Jay and Bob's Secret Stash?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I saw you. I couldn't put the name with the face at the time." So
we've had Jason Mewes on our show a couple times, and I don't think we ever had Silent Bob guy on our show, but we definitely had Jason Mewes, and we've also had Marilyn Gigliotti.
Yes, I'd love to talk to her. She is we have a mutual friend, Stacy Toy, which I believe you know as well.
I know Stacey. Yeah, Stacey's great.
Yeah, she said she was going to introduce us, but we actually had Ernie. Can't think of his last name, but he was in the Jay and Silent Bob movies as well, and he was awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean,
Do you enjoy meeting all these new people? Because you have fascinating people on your show every week.
I love it. That's really why I do it, is because it's fun. I mean, I love to meet new people all the time, and it's kind of like a game to see who we can get. Because you never know who you're going to get. I mean, I have some people that took, I would ask them like every month for like 5 years before and then finally they would come on. And it's hard to get like one thing that's cool about people who take our clients on, because we have a lot of celebrity clients. It helps. When I started out, I was a celebrity clothing designer, and I would go to Comic Cons, especially in Florida, because I lived in Florida, and I would take racks and racks of clothes, and anybody who was there, I would invite them to the room and tell them I'd give them anything that they would wear as long as I could take pictures with them. And then
that's cool. That's a good idea.
They would like come on, and then I'd become friendly with them, and we'd hang out, and then they'd come on my show, and I'd become friends with them, and that's how I got like Malcolm McDowell and Lance Henriksen and some of my more favorite, because Lance Henriksen's like my favorite like actor like ever. I just love Lance Henriksen. I love Millennium, everything Lance, and all the like Cenobites, Doug Bradley and Clive Barker, and everybody who was a Cenobite in Hellraiser. That's how I got Norman Reedus to come on the show.
That's awesome.
He's dead, and so that's how I really like broke into it. So I had really like one of my first shows was Joya Bruno from Expose, which like they were a huge girl group from like the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. And actually, they were one of the biggest girl groups ever before Destiny's Child. And then I had Gary Wright, who does that song Dreamweaver.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dreamweaver, Gary Wright, and he had just gotten off the Ringo Starr tour, and he came on the show. And so I got really lucky at the beginning, and then it just kind of built from there. And it just kind of depends. Some weeks I have really big guests, and some weeks I have, guests that aren't as big, but all of them are interesting. We've only had about, I don't know. You have to remember, I've been on the air longer than everybody. They didn't even have a term podcast when I started.
Sure.
So I've been on for 14 years, and so there was no such thing as a podcast back then. But I've had two guests a week for 14 years, and it's just fun because sometimes you get really. I mean, I set my sights really high, and I haven't gotten any of the really high like Charlize Theron type people yet, but I will eventually. You just keep plugging away. Took me 5 years to get Clifton Collins Jr. and and he came on and he was terrific. We had a blast.
So doing this so long, how fast do you know? Like, oh, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good interview. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine some feel differently.
You don't really know.
Yeah.
A lot of times, the ones you think are going to be really good end up not being as good as you had hoped. And sometimes the ones that you think, oh my God, this one's going to probably be terrible. I don't know what I got myself into. And then they end up being really good.
Yeah.
But our best show ever is John Barrowman. I don't know if you know who John Barrowman is, but John Barrowman is in Legends of Tomorrow. He was in Arrow. He's the Dark Archer. And he was in Torchwood. He was the main star. He had his own spin-off.
I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Doctor Who. And we brought him on, and the first thing that he did, we lived in Pennsylvania at the time, and as soon as the screen opened up, he had a blow-up doll there, and he was making out with the blow-up doll, before he ever came on. And he goes, oh my gosh, we're on the air, and we got 10 million plays for one show, which is a lot. So that's our best show of all time.
That's incredible. That's fun.
That is awesome. I get excited over the smallest people. Like I interviewed Wormser from Revenge of the Nerds 1 and 2. And I was so excited to talk to that guy. Like, a lot of people are reaching for the Brad Pitts, and I'm glad to sit here and talk to anybody, especially that guy. That guy was awesome. And I felt because that was the first guest that I booked on my own without going through other sources. I got him off Twitter, and yeah, it just feels awesome when you get these guests that you've watched your entire life.
I have that going on too. And there's certain people that to me are a big deal, but other people probably don't think they're a big deal. Like my ideal one is I want Molly Ringwald. I'm a fucking huge
that'd be good.
And I also love everybody from Beverly Hills 90210, believe it or not. Like, so any of those people, if I had any of them, we were at NAMM before the COVID. I was with Eileen, and Brian Austin Green was there. And I talk to famous people every day, so it's usually not a big deal. But when I met him, I was like tongue twisted. I was like, oh my God, I can't even speak. And it's not like he's that big of a star, but for me, he's, everybody's got their favorites. Like for me, Lance Henriksen is my favorite. I was at a convention and he makes these alien tiles. I have it in my case, and it's of the alien monster because he's an alien, and they're ceramic mosaic tiles or whatever. And he doesn't sell them, but he just makes them. And like sometimes you see them on eBay for like $2,000 or $3,000. And so he gave it to me. He like gave me one of them, and he wrote on the back, "Jimmy Star, you're the coolest fucker I ever met." And
cool.
For me, that's a cool thing. But like I was at a convention, and I got a phone call, and it was Malcolm McDowell, and he's like, "Come on, we're gonna all have breakfast. Come have breakfast with us." So I was at this convention, and I got in. It was just me and Malcolm McDowell and Doug Bradley, who's Pinhead in the Hellraiser movies, and Lance Henriksen and me, and we got to eat, and I got to sit there for an hour and a half and eat breakfast with them. And for me, that was just like, oh my god, that's like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, some of the guests you've never even heard of. Like we met Sherry Nelson through you, and we've had her on our show 4 or 5 times now. I talk to Sherry every week. Like we talk to each other personally and exchange like personal stuff, get advice from one another, and you just never know who you're going to talk to when somebody sends you a name. Like you become best friends with some people.
One of the coolest girls, ladies, women that you'll ever meet, ever. She
100%.
She's great.
And she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous, and she's and that's what I always like it when you meet beautiful women who aren't like who probably know they're beautiful, but they don't act like they're beautiful. They're just like regular, and they're nice to everybody, and they treat everybody with a lot of respect and everything. Nobody better than her. She's fabulous.
Yeah, it's awesome when you get a text from Sherry like, "Hey, how's your day?" Just out of the blue, and it's like, "Oh man, I'm great. Like, thank you for thinking of me in the middle of a Tuesday. Like, what is happening?" But so what's your favorite thing to do out of all the things that you do? Is it rapping in your car on Instagram? Because you should do more of that.
I freaking love that shit. That was Ron's car, actually. It wasn't my car. It was Ron's car, but it's just like fun. So I do like that a lot. You know what? I like everything that I do. I'm glad I get to do a bunch of different things. I really like producing movies. Probably my favorite thing, if I could get paid to do it, would be just to go to red carpet events every day.
What are those like? I have no idea. I have no outside of like the pictures and the random videos, right? But what is that like?
It's just fun because making a movie, everybody thinks is real glamorous, but it's really not. I mean, it really is not. It's not fun. It's a lot of work. You end up sitting around, for 10 hours a day while you shoot for like 2 hours, but you sit around for 10 hours, waiting for them to get ready for you. So it's not really a lot of that much fun, and it's not glamorous. But when you go to the red carpet, that's like kind of like the culmination. Even if it's not your red carpet, you go because we go to pretty much like 2 or 3 a month, and you just go, and it's fun. There's always a lot of celebrities. That's how I meet a lot of people to come on the show. Getty's there, and you get all the Getty pictures, and everybody gets all the pictures, and you get to meet a lot of cool, fun people. And it's basically a phenomenal network. To help put everything. We get clients for the PR agency that way. I get guests for the show that way. I meet actors that, since I produce films, I have a list of a couple of hundred actors, that I could go to for movie roles, and so I put people kind of like in my little list of like actors I can get in touch with for movie roles. And so it's just like a lot of fun doing that. I really love doing the PR thing just because I'm good at it. And so I enjoy it. And I love everything I do. I have to say I'm blessed and fortunate. I'm not super rich, but I enjoy what I do, and I'm having a good time doing it, and I enjoy everything that we do. I love doing the show.
Yeah, and you're impacting a lot of people, right? I mean, it seems like look at all the people that signed your stuff behind you that you've been engaged with, right? How cool is that? That's super sweet. Yeah.
Did you ever see the original Rob Zombie Halloween?
I did.
Yeah.
Like that's the Rob Zombie Halloween mask that's sitting behind me, signed by Dave Ferrick, who's the guy who played Rob Zombie, played the young Michael Myers in the film.
What did you think of that movie? Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it.
I did too. I know it gets a lot of like flack for whatever reasons, but I thought that one was pretty good.
Oh, I loved it. Most of the time, I don't like too many of the remakes because I think they do too many of them. But I think that I'm a big fan of Rob Zombie too.
Sure. Mm-hmm. 1,000 Corpses, that whole deal. Just like those.
I love all of
3. Yeah.
I was very good friends with Tom Tolles, who was in House of 1,000 Corpses. He was in a whole bunch of things. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, but I was really good friends with him. And he lived in Florida, and I lived in Florida, so I used to see him all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
What is your favorite horror franchise?
It's all these
Yeah.
friends in different movies. You're like, yeah, which one's your favorite?
I really like the Hellraiser series a lot. I'm not going to like the new one where they have a lady pinhead. I think that's just ridiculous. But I do like the Hellraiser series. I pretty much like Friday the 13th because I'm friends with everybody in it. And Saw. I love that torture porn shit. I think it's awesome.
I do like the Saw movies too. The first one is definitely my favorite. Scream is my favorite horror franchise. I can't
That's a good
wait
one.
for the new one. That's my dream interview cast is the Scream cast. Anybody.
I've been trying to get Matthew Lillard for years. I'm gonna get him eventually. So I love Matthew Lillard. I also I really like the first two Hostel movies a lot.
That eyeball scene still haunts me, where they cuts the eyeball out or whatever. Oh gosh,
I love that. I think that is just freaking awesome. The Hostel 3 wasn't any good, and my favorite movie of all time is The Lost Boys.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I saw that you interviewed Corey Feldman recently. How awesome was that? Yeah. He's on my short list as well.
He's a really nice guy. I did another movie with him. I forgot the name of it that we were in together, and but he never really remembers because I'm sure he knows so many people. He was very, very nice on the show. We had a really good time, and I was an extra in The Lost Boys, the first one.
Well, that's cool.
I didn't know any of the people, but I was very good friends with Brooke McCarter, who played Paul, and he's the vampire who gets killed by Nanook. He gets pushed into the tub. He also unfortunately passed away, but he lived in Florida, and so I was really good friends with him.
That's awesome.
And I was really good friends with Corey Haim. Matter of fact, I'm still friends with his mom. So I still talk to his mom, usually around his birthday every year. We talk.
Sure.
So it's very cool and fun. You know what? I feel fortunate that I can support myself doing what I like to do, because I've gone in and out of good times and bad times where, I've had to have a regular people job, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if you can, find a way to support yourself doing what you love, it's definitely a cool experience.
For sure. 100%.
I can't imagine. What's your favorite kind of sets to be on? Do you like the smaller sets or the more big budget? Because you've been in everything.
I actually do like the smaller sets. I like the indie sets because it's fun and it's, first of all, I'm friends with all the people in the indie sets, so I get to talk to the stars and stuff. And when you go on those big sets, you can't go and talk to the stars. I was super naive when I first started doing a bunch of stuff in Miami. I think I was on the set of Bachelor Party and Burn Notice, both. And when I was on Burn Notice, I'm just so used to talking to famous people and having famous friends, so I didn't really know proper etiquette. And so I just walked and sat down in the fucking director's chair with everybody and started talking, and man, did they scream at me. You can't do that. And I was and I had a big ego back then. I think bigger than I probably do now. And I would be like, what do you mean? I'm Jimmy Starr. I like to talk to famous people all the time. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. They basically threw me out, but you can't do that. And so,
it's a great memory though. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. I always have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you guys located?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, we're in Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and cold here today. It's 40 degrees. It was snowing yesterday.
Yeah, we don't have it. I'm in Palm Springs, but I lived in Pennsylvania, Doylestown, Pennsylvania for 5 years. Ron and I did. And
you definitely know snow then, right?
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, it's a lot of it.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Nice. So what's coming up for you? What do you got coming down the road?
Got a new movie that we're going to start filming, hopefully, if everything works out, on December 6th, called The Beast Inside, starring Sadie Katz, Vernon Wells, and Lorene Landon. And then we'll have a bunch of other people, but they're the three main people. Lorene Landon was a big 80s and 90s star. Vernon Wells, if you ever saw Mad Max with Mel Gibson, when the guy with the mohawk, leads all the people, that's him. That's Vernon
cool.
Wells. And he was also in Weird Science and a bunch of other things. And then Sadie's been in a ton of horror movies. And she shot up in fame when she did Wrong Turn. I think it was 6. Yeah, Wrong Turn 6. And so I love those Wrong Turn movies too.
I have not seen any. I need to fix that.
The remake that they did recently, a year or two ago, that one's sucky. But the first ones, especially the first two, they're really good.
Have you watched the new Chucky series yet?
I've watched the first 4 episodes.
Okay, that shows the epitome of it gets better every episode.
I actually like it a lot, though, and I'm a big Chucky fan. Let's see. Here's Chucky, still working.
Nice.
And when they did the remake of the movie, I have a friend who actually made all the Chucky dolls. The ones that were used in the movie, and then they made a bunch of extra ones, and I tried to get one of them, but like they were very expensive and not really in my budget, unfortunately. But I would love to have them.
My cousin is dating Alex Vincent, who played Andy in the original 2 films.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't say I'm friends with him, but I definitely know him. I used to see him at conventions all the time, and we would like hang out and talk. But he knows who I am, but we're not really friends. So I can't get on the phone and call him. So that's cool. You should get him on the show.
He doesn't like doing podcasts, and I'm one of those people that if somebody tells me like they don't really like doing it once, then I won't keep bothering.
Yeah, I don't go after him again either.
Yeah,
I don't either. I've had a couple people who don't like to go on video now that everybody's doing video ones, and so we had one time where video that they told us the video we weren't going to have video for 1 week, and I would get those people then when it was just audio, and try and get them in. But yeah, he's a nice guy though, and you know what? He's made a career out of Chucky because that's mostly what he's done is Chucky. So good for him.
I like that they found a way to bring him back. Like that makes sense, and the new show is actually good. Like who saw? I
haven't gotten to a part where he's in it yet, though. I haven't gotten to that.
I think that episode airs tonight.
Oh, okay. And the same thing with Christine Elise McCarthy. She's been on our show too, and I'm a big fan of hers because she was Brandon's crazy girlfriend on Beverly Hills 90210. And, you guys are probably too young to know that, but like I'm a huge Beverly Hills 90210. That was like the show, Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place when I was just getting out of college. And stuff like those were these shows. Those were like my shows.
When I was in middle school, our teacher would not assign homework the night that Melrose Place was on. We got a free night, so it was awesome.
Yeah. So those are big shows for me, and I met Shannon Doherty, at one of those events, and I loved her. I know a lot of people say like she's not nice with her, but I never have the same experiences that other people have, like because everybody's always nice to me.
Right.
So, like, I've only had one, which I don't want to mention who it is because he's a total dick fuck. But other than
I'd love to know.
Other than that, everybody else has been like really good, and he's also a horror guy. Actually, I can't even remember his name. I know his first name's William. Let's see. I think he's in Halloween. But he's the only one who ever was like, he was just a total like asshole. I have this video series called Jimmy Star is the Shit. And it used to be all the people wearing my clothes. There's like 5 different versions of it.
That's awesome.
And I went to him and asked him if he would like, do a video, say who he is and do the video. And he's like, what makes you think you're the shit? And then he was just like nasty and mean to me. And I was just like, yo, dude, I don't need it that bad. Everybody else in the video is bigger than you anyway.
Speaking of Halloween, have you seen Halloween Kills?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it. I always wait.
Okay.
William Forsythe, that's his name. William Forsythe. I just for me, he's just like he's this. Oh wait, where's the? Oh, you can't see it anyway. Anyway, look him up, you guys. Like maybe he might be nice to you guys, but I was at a convention with him. He looked like he was homeless and he was a dick.
I've heard stories about William Shatner, but I actually had a chance to meet him. I was actually commissioned to go to Saudi Arabia to be an MC for a comic book convention. And I'm in the green room with William Shatner and even Steven Seagal, who I've heard both were jerks, but they were super nice there. Like they were sitting down, they're talking real estate with each other. And
I think that would be nice when they go to those things, though, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you guys like Cobra Kai?
I'd love Cobra Kai.
Okay, so we had like Ron Thomas from Cobra Kai, and we had Homeless Liz or whatever, the homeless lady, Homeless Lynn or whatever. And Sean Kanan, I'm hoping is going to be on the new episode, and he's like really a very good friend of ours. Is Sean Kanan. And he's from the Karate Kid 3. He was like the Mike Barnes in Karate Kid 3.
Gotcha.
Hopefully he's going to be on it. He's also a big soap opera star and just did a movie that's coming out with Bruce Willis.
Nice. I'm sure he's going to pop up because I just brought the ponytail guy back from.
Yeah, they just brought him, and that was his sensei in that. So,
yeah. I love Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is another one of those shows that you did not expect to be as great as it is.
Yeah, but they got the music. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. The movie's okay, but the soundtrack makes it awesome. Yeah. And that's kind of like the same thing with Cobra Kai. The music makes it really good. And I didn't like it, though, when Hawk went to the bad side. So I was so happy at the end of season 3 when Hawk came back to the good side. I like Hawk. Hawk's like my favorite one.
I love Zabka in that show. Like, William Zabka is great. Like, he needs to do more stuff.
I even have – hang on, I'll show you.
This is pretty cool. I like the background. I like the clown mask.
100%. That's great.
Here's my autographed Funko Pop Lady Zapka and my autographed Funko Pop Daniel LaRusso.
That's awesome.
Yeah, everybody talks about shoot, why am I blanking on a Rudd? Paul Rudd. Everybody talks about how Paul Rudd doesn't age. What about Ralph Macchio?
Yeah, he doesn't age. We had him on we interviewed him at a red carpet a couple of years ago in New York City. Ron interviewed him because we took turns interviewing people. So Ron interviewed him, and he was like probably like 58 or something then, and he looked terrific. He looks like he's 30.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we met him.
He's nice though. He's nice. I met Martin Cove at a red carpet event here. He was really nice. I've never met any of the like young cast members of it. I also have a really cool Martin Cove like from the 80s Karate Kid action figure that you push his back and he actually chops things.
That's awesome. We interviewed his son. He was really nice. Big fan of him.
Did you? He came on Three Geeks because I was supposed to meet him at an event a couple weeks ago and he didn't show up, but I'd like to get him on too.
Yeah, he's great.
I'll send you some information, Jimmy, after the show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jesse.
So who are some of your favorite people that you've interviewed?
I think Sherry is at the top of the list. I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Carl Gottlieb was an awesome one.
Oh.
Larry Hankin, who I'm super good friends with now. I text and talk to Larry all the time.
Actually, we had Carl Gottlieb. He was good.
I like Joe Alves, the Jaws.
We had him too. Yeah. Oh, I know where you got those guys from.
Yeah.
Another dick fuck that we won't mention. Fucking psycho, dude. That dude is literally like he's not playing with the full deck. He's like he's 3 sheets to the wind. There's something really wrong with him. So anyway,
there's so many awesome ones. We've interviewed Michael Rooker.
Randy Edelman was a lot of fun. Some of the musicians have been great.
Michael Rooker's a really big one. You know, he's got huge credits.
Yeah, or Randy Edelman, who we got through you guys. And
he's great.
He's freaking
really
great. So great that Eileen invited us to go to a show in New York, which we're going to at the end of the month.
Oh, at the end of the month, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm not flying in for that, but it's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, and he's really got big credits.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable credits that he's got. So who would be your like ultimate if you could like interview any? I'm not interviewing you guys. You're supposed to be asking me the questions, but like who would be your like?
Jean-Claude Van Damme is mine.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
I went to his movies as a kid with my dad all the time. So, and he's still one of my favorites. It might just be the nostalgia of why I keep going back to his movies, but yeah, Van Damme's at the top of my list.
I have to tell you that the movie that he did, I love karate movies. And when he did, what's that karate movie that he does where they go to Hong Kong and they do the fights?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. I think Bloodsport is like one of the greatest like movies ever. I love it. Bloodsport and The Best of the Best with Eric Roberts are like two of my favorite fight movies. I love Best of the Best. I've seen it like 500 times.
I just watched Best of the Best for the first time a couple of weeks ago.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them, but the first one is the really good one. It really is. Everybody in it's really good, and I freaking like love it.
Curtis Armstrong is up on my list as well from the Revenge of the Nerds series.
Yeah, he's okay, Justin. How about you? Who do you want?
I was saying like Mark Hamill would be a lot of fun. Luke Skywalker.
I've been reaching out to him a bunch, but so far no good there.
Yeah.
I'm also a big fan. The only movie franchise that I love that's not horror or superheroes is the Fast and the Furious.
Okay,
I love Vin Diesel,
maybe.
So I would like to do like I actually did the costume design for the second one, so I actually got to meet everybody in the second one. I've met all of them, and a lot of like Tyrese and those like they went into the newer ones then. And I actually met Ludacris at the Source Awards one year. I went to a party with Ludacris and LL Cool J.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. Let me tell you, it was like I have to say like I can't even believe like some of the cool things that I've been able to do.
That's awesome.
I like the highlights of my life. I'm a big Elton John fan, and I got to dress him for a concert and go to his dressing room backstage and hang out with him before the show. That was a big deal.
He killed me in Kingsman 2. He's my favorite part of that movie. Oh my God.
I thought the second one kind of like sucked. It wasn't good. Like the first one was really good.
I agree, but he was great.
But he was great. And I love Elton John too. But I love Fast and Furious. Like that's like a big thing for me. And I see all of them. I mean, most of them I've seen a zillion times, and I'm an extra in a couple of them. And so it's a lot of fun.
I like the more ridiculous those movies get, the better.
I know, and there's like so ridiculous. Like we just watched Red Notice. I don't know if you watched Red Notice on.
I watched it yesterday. I really liked it.
But like the guy who's like when they're in that room trying to steal at the guy's mansion, try to steal the egg in the mansion, and the Gal Gadot kicks the bald guy in the head, and he falls down. That bald guy is a really good friend of mine, Alessandro Fulcito. He's a stunt guy, and he's in every Marvel movie that there is.
That's cool.
And he's a business partner. He's a friend of mine, but he's also we have a production company that we're making a bunch of movies with, and so just to see him getting kicked in the head by Gal Gadot, I thought was fun. But it was a fun movie. A lot of people I heard didn't like it, but really,
I liked it.
It was a good, fun, light movie. You know, that had comedy, and Ryan Reynolds is basically like he's playing like Deadpool as a jewelry thief because he's all witty, just like in Deadpool.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds always plays Deadpool. Even before he was Deadpool, he was still.
It reminded me of Uncharted. If anyone plays those video games, like it reminded me a lot of that. Like I don't know.
I have to say that's one thing I don't do. Ron plays video games, but I don't actually play video games.
Sure.
I mostly because I don't have time. Because the time I would be doing video games, I'm usually trying to build my social media.
You're in 150 movies. I think you're busy.
Well, I don't have time. And I like the old school kind of games, you know, like Joust and Robotronics, and I don't know, just like the old games the old Star Wars games and Dragon Lair and stuff like that nobody even knows what any of that stuff is.
Gauntlet,
yeah. So it's just like fun.
Yeah.
I got to ask you before we let you go, Jimmy, because my daughter will kill me if I don't. What was it like on the set of Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, you know what? I was an extra, so it's just like being in it. You're just there. It's fun. You get to see everything that's going on. It's a great show. It's a phenomenal show, and I would love to get some of those people on my show now. I think that would be like really cool if we could get some of those people on the show. And you know how you do that? You do it the same way you got, you know, the booger guy. Like I reach out to everybody on Twitter, but now I'm reaching out to everybody on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's my go-to. It seems
Instagram is now. That's how we had Larry Bagby 2 weeks ago. He's from Hocus Pocus and Walk the Line and all these different movies, and he was terrific. And Hocus Pocus for me is like the best family Halloween movie ever.
I agree. It's great.
We had Doug Jones. We just went to a party with Doug Jones right around Halloween. But like Doug Jones was on our show, you know, and he's in the new one, and so it's I love Doug Jones. He's the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, he's awesome. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us. Where can everybody find you online?
So I'm Dr. Jimmy Star, Dr. Jimmy Star on Twitter. My Facebook and my Instagram got hacked, and I had to start over. So I'm Jimmy Star Official on Instagram. And you can just find out everything anyway. I have a blog. I'm a blogger. My blog's number 45 of the top 100 entertainment blogs in the world, and it's jimmystarsworld.com. And you can just go there and make it easy.
Awesome. And I'll put all the links down below. Everybody, please have a great night, great week, great weekend. Love your neighbor. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.